what's going on, friends and fellow Freedom Crusaders? Hope you're having a great day. In this video, I want to talk and share with you a little about one of my favorite laws of success and how it played out in a way that I couldn't even have imagined this last week. So the law of success is number 8, the habit of going the extra mile. It's a good thing to do, to strive to go the extra mile in all that you do. And I found over my time in business that it definitely pays back in monetary ways, and it also pays out in ways that sometimes are deeper and more fulfilling, just like what I'm about to show you. So we had our event last week. It's the Freedom Fest event. And one of the things that we did is we designed a new recognition system for our community. And last week we had the opportunity to give some of these awards away, and I'm so thankful because I watched this video of one of our award recipients, the amazing Amy Starr Allen, and I'm just gonna play for you what she said. And I want to invite you to keep in mind that one of our goals was to go the extra mile with this award system and do it in a way that was different and better and meaningful. And because of all of those intentions, we really did put a lot of time and thought and attention into this award system. And I just want to show you the effect that it actually had. So let's come over here to Amy, and here we go.
I received a few awards at the event, which were the most meaningful awards that I've ever received in my entire life. And I've received a lot of awards in my life. Just so you know, these aren't the first awards I've ever received, but they just are so much more meaningful than anything else that I've ever received. And so the awards are made of glass, and so after the night that I received them, I put them into their boxes and brought them home, and they're still in their boxes. So I thought it might be fun to take them out of the boxes while I'm on camera today and share with you a little bit about each one and the meaning behind it while I'm in this video.
So the first thing I just want to highlight real quick is she said these are the most meaningful awards she's ever received in her entire career. And in case you don't know Amy, ever since I first got on the internet back in 2009, Amy has been a top producer. She was on the leaderboard of the first system that I joined. Then we worked together in another company, and she was one of the top leaders. She was always speaking on stage. She's been a top leader in network marketing and affiliate marketing. And so she's received a lot of awards. So for her to say that these are the most meaningful rewards she's ever received, wow, like that is a huge compliment. So let me fast forward to the next part that I wanted to show you. And also, by the way, in this video, Amy sings a song and plays it on the guitar. It's a very special song. So I also want to include that in this video. So stick around here. I'm going to fast forward to the 14-minute mark in Amy's video, 14:32, where she actually brings out the awards and talks about them. And let's see, I think we're about there. So let me go ahead and show you.
Awards, because I think that these awards say a lot about our organization. The amount of thought that went into these awards and what they represent, it's so different than anything I've ever experienced before. You know, I've been in companies where we got awards for ranks. You know, when you sponsor a certain number of people or you make a certain amount of money or whatever, something like that. And, you know, that's what you do to be recognized. And these awards are different than that. Let me just start off by saying that Mike Hobbs and Paul Hutchings, the founder of our company, they're so committed to doing things differently here. Like the way that they go about running this company is so different than anything I've ever experienced. And I always say, and I've said a lot this week, as people's minds have been blown by the level of love and contribution that is a part of this community, is that in all organizations, everything always trickles down from the top. And these guys are like two of the biggest beacons of light that I have ever known in my entire life. They're so heart-centered, they're so generous and giving with their time and their hearts, and like I can't even put it into words. I've never seen anything like it. And before I came to the event, I already knew this. I mean, I've met these guys in person before, and I've been working with them now for 2.5 years inside of this organization. And the way that they show up blows my mind every day. It literally blows my mind who these guys are. But after spending 5 days in person with them, the level of respect that I have has just grown so much. Like, it's incredible who they are. So even when it comes to wanting to recognize the people in their...
So I want to jump back and say something real quick. You're probably watching this video thinking, well, I know why Paul's showing us this video, because she's saying all these nice things about him. And that's not the reason. But I'm so grateful for the nice things. But the thing I want to say about the nice things and the kind words that Amy says about Mike and I, there's this quote that we picked up over in San Diego. We heard Bob Proctor speak one time, and he said, I have license to brag because none of this stuff is mine. And whenever Amy gives us these very kind words, I'm so thankful for them because, you know, we do pour our hearts and souls into everything that we do, and we do love the people that we're serving very, very deeply. And I always think about how all we're really doing is we're doing the best that we can to live out the ideas, the best ideas that we have found in books. So, for example, Go the Extra Mile, that's not a secret. I mean, a lot of people have written about it. Napoleon Hill has a whole chapter in the Law of Success on it. Law of Success number 8, the habit of doing more than paid for, going the extra mile. I mean, it's in there for anyone to find. But Mike and I, we try to live that, you know? How can we take these best ideas and live them? And you see the effect that it produces. You know, Amy is so thankful, and she admires us and says that we're beacons of light and all these really, really nice things, simply because we latched onto principles that we felt were true, that we resonated with, and we said, how can we live these out in the world? And the cool thing is, anyone can do that. You can do that. Anyone can do that. And if we do this, we produce effects like this where people are so thankful for the way that we show up in the world. So I'm going to jump back over here, and we'll keep playing Amy.
Community. They wanted to do that in a different way. They want to do everything in a different way here, in a way that matters.
And this is another just real quick marketing lesson. She says that we did our recognition system in a different way, and we do a lot of things in our company in a different way. And this is a great question to ask yourself for whatever it is that you're marketing, is how can I be different? Not just to be different, but how can I be different in a way that's better, in a way that serves people and also is different? Because if you can be different, you will stand out from, you know, if there is such a thing as competition, you'll stand out because you're different, and you're different in a way that's better. So this is a question we always ask ourselves, and we're always looking for ideas on how we can be different and better, you know, to serve our people in a better way. So let's go back to Amy here.
And so they didn't want to recognize people for how much money they've made, or how many sales they've made, or what any kind of rank or anything like that. So they put together these awards that are just different than any other kinds of awards that I've ever seen. And the way that they presented them was so beautiful as well. You know, they talked a little bit about each person that was receiving the award, and it was just awesome. So I'll start by showing you some of those. So here's one. These are the cool boxes that they come in. So they had these different awards that were for like character awards. And this one that I received is for the Thankful Heart Award. The gratitude. And I was recognized because I'm grateful. Like, who does that, you know? And this just means so much to me because I am so grateful. I'm grateful every day for this community. Like, beyond anything that I can describe. It really is hard to describe how grateful I am for this place and these people. And so they gave me an award for that. I can't even help but to be grateful, but they recognize that and gave me an award for that.
I love you, Amy. And I want to say something about that. So gratitude, right? Like, let's see, what do I want to say? So one of the things that I learned is that the best service can't be bought, it must be given. And I learned that lesson because I've been on the receiving end of some of the best service that people can provide simply because they wanted to give. And I saw how valuable the service was. And so when you go the extra mile, choosing to go the extra mile is an act of service, because you don't have to do that. When you're doing your normal daily activities, when you're selling a product or, connecting with someone, you can do the minimum. When you're going to work, you can do the minimum and you'll still get, paid. You'll still get that monetary pay. But choosing to go the extra mile, choosing to put your heart and your soul and your time and your intention and your love into your work, that's extra. And how do you get paid for that, right? Like you might earn more money, and I believe you will in the long run because people will know that your service is above and beyond. But the way that I really get paid for this, for going the extra mile, is in what I like to call soul pay. And I get so much soul pay from Amy because it's not just that she's thankful, right? Like thankful, yeah, she is thankful. But what does her gratitude really mean to me? To me, it means I see you. I see your heart. I see what you're doing. I see that you're pouring your soul into everything that you guys are doing for us. And that's that's soul pay, like that pays me so much more than a commission, at the end of the day, or my weekly commissions or whatever, the money, we need the money to be free. We need the money to do what we want to do. But when someone sees you and recognizes that and appreciates it, it's like you've given some of your heart and someone else with a heart received it and treasured it up and said, thank you. I'm so thankful for this gift. Gift of what? Gift of the extra that you put in. And the reason you put it in was because of the love that you have in your heart. So yeah, Amy deserves to be recognized for that because she does such a great job of it. And because she does such a great job of it, I'm more motivated and Mike's more motivated and our community is more motivated because the best service cannot be bought. It must be given. And when you see that your gifts are well received, you want to give more gifts and you want to serve better, right? So Amy does that for all of us. So Amy, congratulations on that Thankful Heart Award. You so deserve it. And it's just beautiful. So let me come back over here to Amy.
So that's the first one. Another one like that, same size. And this one is the Golden Mike Award, Voice of Freedom. And this was for different people in our community that contribute in different ways on the masterminds and the calls and things like that. So it's my honor to serve. It's my honor to help lead the call or to, help on the masterminds and stuff like that. But they gave me an award for it. I just think so beautiful. So there's that one. And then this one's different. And this one's going to really make me cry. So what they did was they wanted to come up with a way to recognize people for the amount of meals that they've helped to donate to the children. And this is one of the things, like I said, that touches my heart more than anything else about my work here. And so I love that I have this award to remind me about that difference. And this is a benefactor, level of benefactor, which is when you've contributed a minimum of 500 meals to the children, and it says add meliora, to better things. And so anyway, that's this one. Benefactor award. And this is so meaningful to me to be able to look at this and be reminded of that I've contributed these meals to these children. On that note, the next level that you get to with the benefactor, with those types of awards is when you reach 5,000 meals, and then you get a ring. Paul and Mike each have one of the rings, and you get another engraving in the ring each time you go up, from 5,000 to 10,000 and so forth. And I really want one of those rings. I really want something that I can wear and touch on my hand everywhere I go to just remind me about the kids and why I do what I do. And I'm really, really, really motivated by that. I was really blown away when they showed what they're doing with this, and I got to put Mike's ring on, and just it's a beautiful, simple ring that has our oak tree emblem engraved in it, and has some words engraved on the inside, and it's just beautiful. And for me, it's a symbol, and I'm very motivated to, that's my next goal, is to have one of those rings. And so the next day
So I'm going to stop Amy's video, and before I play her song, which is so worth sticking around for, you're going to love it. She played the song for us at the event. I wanted to talk for just a moment about the actual awards and what they mean to me, because one of the things we wanted to do, and actually let me just preface this by saying that I think one of the things that a lot of people want and need in life is a sense of meaning, that the things we do matter and the things we say matter, and that we're making a difference in the world and in the lives of other people. And I think if more people had more meaning in their lives, we would be happier, we would be more excited, we would be more motivated, we would be more inspired all the time, and we'd go to bed at night just so thankful that our lives are so meaningful. And a lot of people are missing that. They're missing a sense of meaning, they're missing a sense of purpose. They want, we all want to matter to people. One of our Freedom Crusaders at the event, and I won't mention the name because I don't have the permission, but one of the Freedom Crusaders at the event, I was thanking him for his service, and he said, I joined the military because I was afraid no one would show up to my funeral. And so he joined the military because he wasn't sure if his life mattered, and he wanted it to matter to people. And that's meaning, right? Like, we all want to matter. And so with what I'm doing in my life, and what we can all do, is we can find meaning for ourselves. We can live meaningful lives. And if we can then somehow help other people to find meaning and value and purpose and all of that good stuff, it's like, wow, that is so much like multiplied, right? And so coming back to the award system that we designed, Mike and I, we wanted awards that were meaningful to us, that when we received the reward, it had a lot of meaning, and then also that the next level that we were going for would be motivational, because we want to be inspired and we want to be driven to keep doing the things that we need to do to add value to ourselves and the world around us. And so that was kind of the intention, is to design something that was meaningful to us and that would motivate us to continue on to the next level. And the hope was that when we did this, it would be meaningful for other people too. So watching Amy's video is like, yes, we did it. Like, we hit the jackpot. We designed something that was meaningful for us, and also other people are finding it meaningful and being motivated by it. And so I wanted to talk for just a minute about these awards and show you all of the meaning that we built in and why we built the meaning in, if nothing else, so that maybe you can be inspired and find more meaning in whatever it is that you're doing. So I'll show you the first. I also got a Voice of Freedom award, and you see my name there, Voice of Freedom Golden Mike Award. And all of our awards have the oak tree on them, which is the the logo for our community. And this oak tree has a ton of meaning in and of itself. And I just want to talk for just a minute about the meaning behind this for me. So this oak tree for me represents transformation. There's a great line in Think and Grow Rich that says, the oak sleeps in the acorn, the bird waits in the egg. And so it's a reminder to me that we all have a beautiful oak tree inside of us, even if we look like a tiny little acorn. And so that helps me to believe in people, helps me to believe in myself. It helps me to know that where I am today is not where I'm going to be tomorrow, because I'm continually growing. So it's a metaphor of growth. And what does an oak tree need to grow? It needs good soil. And to me, the soil under the oak tree are the principles, the great truths that we can find in books, that we can be inspired by, and we can choose to base our lives upon. Oak trees need good soil to grow. And part of what I'm wanting to do with the community that we're building is be good soil for people, whether they're in our company or just in our influence. I don't care. I want to be good soil where people can plug in and get nourishment and find good principles and be inspired and know how they can live a great life, right? So that's part of the meaning. The oak tree itself, for me, the oak tree itself, what is the oak tree? Oh, the oak tree itself is a metaphor for strength and stability. And the idea for this originally came from Atlas Shrugged. In the book Atlas Shrugged, there's the beginning part of the story. There's a character named Eddie Willers, and he's talking about this Taggart estate, this big, opulent estate where Dagny Taggart and James Taggart grew up, and they're these railroad executives. And Eddie Willers was a childhood friend, and he was reflecting about how when he'd walk by the Taggart estate, he'd always see this oak tree standing strong as a symbol of strength that would be there forever and never fall. And he always drew some comfort from that symbol, that tree that was standing there. Well, one day he walked by, and a lightning bolt had struck the tree, and the tree had fallen to the ground. And he noticed that the tree had a rotted out core. And he said in the book that he felt an immense sense of betrayal. And of course, this sets the scene for the book Atlas Shrugged, which then goes on to describe this situation where the world, in America in particular, had lost its values, had lost its inner core, and was rotted out. And so this oak tree, for me, part of the meaning there is when we see that and we say, no, that's not how I'm going to live. That's not the society that my kids are going to grow up in, a valueless, rotted out core society. No, we're going to grab that tree, stand it up, and make sure that it stands strong and true, that it can give strength and courage and stability to everyone who comes within its influence. That's some of the meaning behind the oak tree for me. And so when I think about my life, I think about how I want to be an oak tree. My company, I want my company to be an oak tree. I don't want it to fall down. I don't want the core to rot out, like has happened so many times to me throughout my business career, where I thought I was surrounded by oak trees, but then all of a sudden they withered away in the wind and they were gone, and they left me there trying to, figure out how to pick up the pieces. No, oak trees are what we want. And so that oak tree, for me, I look at that and it's like, wow, that's what that represents. It also represents a philosophy, a strong and vibrant philosophy. Jim Rohn said, your philosophy is like the set of the sail. Some people do so little thinking they don't even have their sail up. And so when I look at that oak tree, I think about my philosophy and all the time that I've put in reading and learning and thinking and sifting through ideas and making finer distinctions and figuring things out and developing faith, right? That's philosophy. That's what that tree represents. And then also on the tree, all the leaves are dollar symbols, which you may not be able to see. Actually, you can see the dollar symbols on the trophy if you look real close. On my shirt, you can see the dollar symbols. But that represents prosperity, that we need prosperity. We need money to be free, right? And so the fruit of starting in the soil as an acorn and refining and defining and growing your philosophy, the fruit is prosperity and freedom. And then also this oak tree for me, do you see how there's all this meaning wrapped up, right? Like, find as much positive meaning as you can for yourself. It will fill your soul. It will encourage you. It will drive you forward, right? And so the last meaning that I'll say on this oak tree is that my philosophy is that when you receive benefits, when you go through the work to cultivate the soil and you grow yourself into a tree that is stable and financially independent. Part of the job of the oak tree is to not run off and plant its roots in the beach somewhere forever, but it's to continue to stand, because now we have leaves and nourishment and strength that we can provide for other people. And I like to think that my leaves can be that for people who are coming in from the heat of the sun, and maybe they're feeling a little scorched a little bit by the marketplace. Maybe they've been beaten down by life a little bit, and they can come under the leaves of my tree and they can rest and find recuperation and inspiration and nourishment for themselves to go back out into the world and to continue growing their own oak tree. So that's, meaning that's wrapped up in that tree for me. So when I look at that tree and I have it on my award and I have it on my shirt and I have it on my, my ring here now that I'll show you, that just is so meaningful. Just like Amy said, it is so meaningful and inspiring. So anyway, that's the Golden Mike Award, and that's for being a host in our community. One of the things that we're striving to do in our community is to create something that we all want to be a part of. And the only way that happens is when we all contribute to creating the thing that we want. And so for over 10 years ago, I started the Grow Rich Mastermind Call. And you can check that out if you're hearing about this for the first time by going to growrichmastermind.com, and you'll get our mastermind collection, which are the books that we study. You'll get access to our daily mastermind that we do every day with our community. But for years, I would get up in the morning and I would get on that call, and I would have my phone in the beginning, then it turned into a microphone. And for an hour a day, Monday through Friday, I'm on that call talking about, reading about, thinking about, studying about, preaching about freedom. The goal was for me to be free and for others to be free. And now I am free, and we still do that every day. We have that mastermind every day. And the people that are hosting on that call, I believe that they are voices of freedom. They're talking about how freedom is possible, and they're sorting through ideas and teaching ideas and inspiring people so that people can go for freedom every day. And I think that is so valuable. And so this Voice of Freedom Award for me says, Paul, yes, you are a voice of freedom, and you have been a voice of freedom. And you know what? That is something to be proud of. And Amy has a Voice of Freedom Award, and Mike has a Voice of Freedom Award, and Bill and Kevin and Katie, hosts of our morning call, they all have a Voice of Freedom Award, and they deserve those awards because every day they're standing for freedom. They're sending that message of freedom out into the world. So I could go on, but I'm going to stop and move on to the next one. And this next one, these are the awards that people get for their contribution levels. And you heard Amy say, and when we say contribution, it's through personal production, right? So when you make sales in our company, yeah, you earn commissions, but also a portion of that sale is donated to help feed hungry kids throughout the world. And so we've talked a little bit about being different. We wanted to be different in a good way. And one of our mottos in our community is be the change we wish to see in the world. And one of the changes that we'd like to see in the home business profession is that it not always be about the money, that there's value in every person. And I've been in companies where it seemed like the only people who had value were the leaders. And, they had special couches for the people. And I was on those couches, and, I'm thankful for that. And I don't mean to criticize it, because we're all, I believe, all doing the best that we can all the time. But we don't want to create a situation where we make people feel less than. And so we were striving to figure out a way where we could recognize people for setting goals that they wanted to set and achieving those goals, because that's important to recognize people. As we see from Amy in this video, she really values that, and I really value that. So we wanted to do that, and we wanted to do that and at the same time make sure that nobody felt less than. And that's important because, intelligence is the ability to make finer distinctions. And the truth is, when any person is inside an organization, there could be a million different reasons why they didn't go for the award and they didn't get the award. Maybe they're doing other things in their lives. Maybe they're focusing on their families. Maybe they're, who knows? There's so many other good things that people can be doing in the world. And so when someone in our community gets a recognition for an award, we want them to be recognized, and we want everyone else to realize that they are not less than. And so one of the ways that we came up with was to tie these to contribution. So, and then the other thing is we didn't want to call these ranks. In every company I've been in, it's a rank. And the word rank inherently, to me, speaks less than. If I'm a higher rank, that means, someone else is at a lower rank. And, that means maybe I'm better than them. And I'm not. Never better than anyone. And so the first difference with these awards, and you can see all the time and thought that went into this, right? Like when Amy recognized us for the time and the thought, it's true. We thought about this a lot. And so we didn't want to call these ranks, and we were throwing out ideas, and we reached out to one of our leaders, Nick Bramble, and he said, how about Crusader contribution level? Isn't that better than rank? So that's what we're calling these, contribution levels, Crusader contribution levels. So we're calling those that. And then the other thing with the name, we've got benefactor. That's the title of the contribution level. And we thought about a lot of different things, silver, gold, diamond. We could do those ranks. What else could we do? We thought of all these different ideas. And finally, we came to benefactor. Because benefactor speaks to me that in building your business, you are being a benefit to the people you're serving, your customers, your affiliates, and also because of the Feed My Starving Children thing we've got mixed in, you're also being a benefactor to society because you're helping to feed hungry kids. And you can see how meaningful that is to be a benefactor, right? So that's what these are called. And then a couple other things to know about the thought that went into these. We put a Latin phrase on here, ad meliora. And, and then that means two better things. And we decided to put the English on there so no one would be confused. But ad meliora, two better things. We wanted these to be inspirational. We wanted these to speak a message that when you get here, when you get one of these awards, congratulations, be thankful, be proud of yourself for what you did, and remember, semper ad meliora. And semper means always. Now, we didn't put semper, we just put ad meliora. But the point is, always to better things. You're not meant to stay where you're at. There are better things waiting for you in your future. So we stamped that phrase on these trophies to remind us that onward and upward, like Emerson said, the voice of the Almighty saith upward and onward forevermore. There's always something better. There's always another person to serve. There's always a new skill to gather. There's always another benefit that we can provide to the people around us. So ad meliora says that. Now, ad meliora is also a Latin phrase, and Latin is an old language. And to me, when I think about ad meliora and how people in ancient Greece 2,000 years ago were saying to better things, to better things, to me that says that's an ancient idea. And sometimes the best ideas and the best truths and the best principles, they're ancient. They're not new. They've been around a long time. One of my favorite quotes from Jim Rohn, I have a lot of them. One of them is, he said, beware of someone who comes along claiming to have invented or found a new antique. Because antiques are not new. They've been around. And the same concept applies to principles. Someone comes along and says, hey, I've discovered a new success principle. Usually not true. Usually these principles have been around for a very long time. They are ancient. And a lot of the best ways to live our lives are found in old books. The Bible, Think and Grow Rich, The Laws of Success. These are old books. Ancient Greece, ad meliora. So that, to me, has that sort of meaning wrapped up into it. And then two other things I want to say about these trophies. to illustrate the thought and time and attention that went into them, and also to hopefully illustrate the meaning that's wrapped up in them. And even if you're not ever going to go for one of these, I think the big lesson to take away is just wrap up as much positive meaning in everything that you can possibly think to do. And if you have more meaning in your life, you're going to live a more fulfilled, happy, productive life. So the last things, the date on these are significant, 1/11/22, and then our next events are going to be on 11/11 of every year. And for us, 1/11 and 11/11 have taken on special significance in our community. And there's two aspects to this. The first aspect is, when I first got started in home business and personal development, I learned about something called the reticular activating system. And that's just a little part of the brain that gets activated when your consciousness becomes aware to look for something. And the classic example is, you notice you decide you're going to buy a green Honda Civic. And I have a green Honda Civic. And so I bought one. And after you buy this green Honda Civic, all of a sudden you start noticing green Honda Civics everywhere. Well, is it the green Honda Civics just appeared, or were they there before, but you just didn't notice them? That's a function of the reticular activating system, and it's a great lesson for having a definite purpose in life. When you have a definite purpose, when you have a goal and you're aware of it, all of a sudden, your brain becomes activated to see all of the things that are there in your life right now to help you achieve that goal that were always there. You just didn't see them before because your brain wasn't activated to that. And so we noticed that when we started paying attention to these numbers, 1/11 and 11/11, we started seeing them pop up everywhere, on hotel rooms, on clocks, after we'd have special conversations with people. And so it could just be that. It could just be the function of the reticular activating system. But here's another thing that it could be. My business partner, Mike, and I, we were coming back from an event in Branson a couple of years ago, and we met in Salt Lake City to plan a sales video for our community. And when we were at this hotel, we started seeing 1/11 and 11/11 quite often. We were noticing it. And we thought, wow, that's really interesting. I wonder what that means. And so we got on the internet and we looked it up, and there are a lot of people out there that have these special meanings for these numbers. They can mean alignment, that you're on the right path. They can mean that God is signing a little signature on the action that you're taking, a universe wink. These little signs. There's a great book called The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. And in that book, he talks about signs, about little signs from the universe or from life that show up to let you know you're moving in the right way. And so that started bubbling up for us. And then a while back, I went to a local gathering here with my wife here in Southeast Idaho, and we're sitting in the audience, and there was a speaker that had come in from Utah. And the person that was introducing the speaker, he had us recite the first few lines of the Declaration of Independence. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these rights are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And then when he finished, he said, hey, did you guys know that this specific set of words is exactly 111 words? And my reticular activating system perked my ears up. 111? Why is he highlighting that number? And then he said, for those of you who are into numerology, many people believe that the number 111 is a divine number, a divine indicator that there is divinity wrapped up in that number, that God is present. And I thought, wow, that is so fascinating that he would say that with me sitting here in this audience. And so for our community, what we've kind of come to is that whether it's the reticular activating system or a sign from God, or just a sign, a reminder that we should reach for the highest, that we should strive to be in alignment with the best of what our soul can do. Any one of those meanings is fine for me. And we've stamped that date on our events and these trophies. So our next event will be 11/11 of this next year, and on the trophies, we will have 11/11/22. So that's the meaning there. And then the last meaning, Amy mentioned that these are made of glass. And a positive meaning that I see with that is that as we're developing ourselves and becoming the best that we can be, part of the goal for me is that hopefully people can look through me as maybe I've taken some of the, the spots, the parts of me that needed to be cleared off, right? If I can clear some of those off, if I can clear my character flaws off, if I can develop a stronger, more clear character, then hopefully people can look through me and see the sun shining from the sky and see the stars shining from the sky. And hopefully I can be a pointer to the highest good. And so that's what the clarity of these trophies means to me. So you can see there's so much meaning wrapped up in these. And Amy is absolutely right that there was a lot of time and attention, put into this award and recognition system. And I'm just so thankful that she sees that and she feels it and it's meaningful for her too. And then the last part of our recognition system, we have these rings. And these rings are black zirconium. And one of the meanings of black, a black ring, is power, strength, courage, conviction, and belief. So just the color of the ring says all of those things. And those are positive character attributes that I want to be reminded of when I look down at my finger. The other thing that Amy mentioned was that these are simple rings, elegant rings, And we didn't want a big gaudy, like Gaudy, I think, flashy, standout-ish ring. And the reason we didn't want that is because one of our core values is simplicity and not making others feel less than. And so simple to us is a positive thing. So we made these rings simple. The other thing that we did is we tied these rings into our recognition level. So you see there's an oak tree engraved on that ring. And when you get the ring and have your first oak tree, that represents all of the meanings that I already talked about wrapped up in the oak tree. So when I look down at my finger, I feel and remember all of those things. But also one oak tree is representative of the fact that you've produced enough in your business inside of our community to have helped to provide 5,000 meals, 5,000 days of meals to kids in need throughout the world. That's pretty positive. Like Amy said, she wants to be able to look down at her finger and remember and know what she's done and what it means. And it wasn't just money in her bank account. Yeah, that's important, but that's only part of it. There's a great quote that says, we make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. And I've noticed, and I've been in both frames of mind, and I'm not condemning one, because for me, it was a growth process. When I started, it was about like, what can I get? Like, I want to get freedom. I want to get money. I want to pay off the mortgage on my house. I want to get. And that was okay. And that was part of my journey. But I'm just so thankful. I was telling my business partner, Mike, this at our event last week. I'm so thankful that I seem to have made the transition from get to give. And lately, I'm not looking at the income that I'm making, and I'm not looking at people as commissions, but instead I'm looking at people as people, and what can I give them, and how can I serve them? And that's so inspiring to live that way and to have that realization. And so each oak tree, 5,000 meals. So each new contribution level, you get another notch on your ring. And so when I look down at that, I can see that. And right now I'm missing a tree. So now when I look down at my ring, I see all the things that I've done that I'm grateful for. And then I move the ring a little bit and I see that ad meliora. There are better things waiting for me in my future, my next goal, my next contribution level, right? And so, and then the last thing is we're going to add diamonds to this ring. So once you have the 4 trees, the next one will be a diamond in between 2 of the trees. Not a big flashy diamond, a really, really small, elegant, simple diamond that'll represent the diamond oak benefactor level. And so at the end of the day, we will have 8 different recognition levels all around this one ring that we'll be able to wear at all times to remind us of our lives and why we're living, at least from a career standpoint. And hopefully the philosophy of the tree can carry over into the other aspects of our lives as well. And then the last thing, we've got a vision of freedom through principle-centered leadership. So we were able to, on the inside of these rings, and I don't know if you'll be able to see this on the camera, But on the inside of these rings, we have two engravings, and one is freedom. You're probably not going to be able to see that. Freedom, oh, that might be the principle centered. It says freedom, and then it says principle centered on the other side. So we have our vision. You know, the Bible says, without vision, the people perish. So how cool is it to be able to wear my vision on my ring at all times? So that's all the meaning that's wrapped up, you know, and that all came from asking that question, how can we be different? Not for the sake of being different, but how can we be different in a way that's better, that serves people in a better way? And I think that's a great question that we can all ask that can help us to be the change we wish to see in the world. So this has been a much longer video than I had planned, and I apologize for that, but hopefully it's been very, very valuable for you. If nothing more, to pick up some ideas and get inside the minds of how we think and what that thinking is producing, which again, at the end of the day, is just reading good ideas in books and striving to live them out. I have license to brag because none of this stuff is mine. And so the last thing I want to do to close out this video is I want to play this beautiful song that Amy played for us at the event after her speech. And Amy didn't know this song before the event. She learned it specifically because it was a gift from her heart that she wanted to give our community. And the best gifts cannot be bought, they must be given. And this was such a beautiful gift, and I want to share it with you to close out this video. And I guess I'll also say before I close it out, if you've been inspired or lifted by anything I've said in this video, if what I'm talking about the change that we're creating in our community is something that you might want to be a part of from a financial level, I'd love to invite you to go to pipelinemoney.com and check it out. You'll see a video of me sharing some more good ideas. If you care about residual income, that video can really, really help you. I believe from the bottom of my heart, avoid a lot of the problems and mistakes that I made on my journey, so that even if you don't join us or partner up with us, you can take those lessons and apply them and achieve your freedom faster. So that's pipelinemoney.com. And I'm so excited to play this song from Amy. So let's see if we can get this.
Just to give you kind of an idea about how I feel about what we're doing here and what it is to be the change, and just give you a little taste. So hang on, let me grab my guitar. Open your eyes up, people. Take a good look around. Catch the tears filling up all those cracks in the ground. Turn off your televisions. Leave your picture perfect neighborhoods. A lot of folks out there ain't doing so good. Too many of us left out in the cold. No invitations given, no welcome mats unrolled, but you can be the change you wanna see. Be the hope to those whose lives are far from easy. Reach out and lend a hand. Share everything you can and be the change. Be the change. Carry the world on your shoulders for a little while. Put on someone else's shoes and walk a mile. So many cups runneth over, while so many others going dry. The grass ain't always green on the other side. There's still a lot of work to be done, a lot of wrongs to right, a lot of battles to be won, but you can be the change you wanna see. Be the hope to those whose lives are far from easy. Reach out and lend a hand. Share everything you can and be the change. Be the change. Reach out and lend a hand. Share everything you can and be the change. Be the change. Be the change. That's it.
That's it. Love you, Amy. And I love you, whoever you are. You can be the change. You can inspire the world. You can inspire people. You can inspire yourself. And you never know who needs you right now to show up and be the best that you can be. So please do that. Wherever you're at, whoever you're serving, show up and be the best that you can be for all of the people that need your light. And again, if you'd love to be aligned with a community who's all working from that intention, check us out, pipelinemoney.com. This is something so special. I've never been a part of anything like this before. And I'm so inspired every day as I'm doing my marketing and building my business and being around these great people. I cry, I laugh, I get entertained by great music, and it just feels like it's just so fun. It is so fun and rewarding. So we'd love to have you check us out, pipelinemoney.com. Would love to help you if you've got a goal that you want to achieve, a dream you want to achieve, a vision you want to achieve. We are heart-centered. We are doing things differently, and we'd love to find more heart-centered people to help us, because together we can do more. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye for now.